Hey everyone, I'm Jenna Sackett with Stahls TV, and welcome to another live broadcast where we discuss heat printing tips and tricks and new trends and new product announcements. And today I'm really excited to be able to go live with you and discuss some of the new RealTree patterns that we've recently added. So a while back, we partnered up with RealTree, the very popular camo brand for hunting, fishing, all things outdoor sports. And they have a huge, I guess, well-known name within the retail industry. So since we see a lot of retail trickle into our industry as far as custom printing, heat printing, embroidery, screen printing, what have you, we have a lot of crossover with that. So it's really important as a decorator to be able to pull from some of those retail brands and implement that into some of your printing techniques, some of the offering that you're offering your customers, products, accessories, etc. So I'm really excited about these new patterns that recently came from RealTree because it's a really easy way to add full color, gradients, patterns, unique effects into your graphic designs. And all you really need is a vinyl cutter. And even if you don't have a vinyl cutter, of course, that's something that you can order through us, custom cut. So keep that in mind. But it's really just an easy way to get started. So RealTree is a part of our custom CAD-CUT patterns lineup. And before we get into application and showing you how the patterns work, I want to share the screen with you and just show you exactly where you can find it on the screen. So I see some of you guys joining and commenting in. Hello, Dawn, Chris, Furious173. Thank you guys so much for commenting in. I always love to see where you guys are joining from and who's on with me today. So be sure to comment in. And if you guys have any questions throughout our time together this morning, feel free to comment that in and I'll be sure to check out the questions. All right, so let's do a screen share here and show you where you can find the pattern. So we're on the website. This is the home page. As you can see, we have new Bernie Sanders mittens patterns that just recently was added. So be sure to check those out if you guys are hopping on that trend with some pop culture looks. But to get to the RealTree patterns, what we want to do is go to CAD-CUT Direct, heat transfer vinyl, and then we're going to slide on over to patterns. Okay, so we'll just select that, and that's going to take you directly to our patterns generator, where you have a variety of different styles at your fingertips, and you get to check those out, add your favorites, select the colors that you want to go into them. But these are the 4 different categories that we have. So my favorites are obviously just the favorites of these 3 that you guys select. So you have the ability to heart certain patterns. Maybe it's something that you order a lot of and you want to have them in your My Favorites folder. All you have to do is hit that heart and it's going to save them to that folder. Stahls Creative Studios is where we spend a lot of our time talking about patterns. RealTree is the one we're going to go with today because we did just add new colors. So if you guys are just joining, we're talking today about some of those new RealTree patterns that were just recently added. So once you're in this folder, you'll be able to see all of the new patterns that are being added. Right, so I worked with this one so far, and today, this is the contrast one, and today we are going to be working with the dark. All right, so the new ones is RealTree Wave, and why I love these is the texture that it has, even though it's a matte finish, the gradients and the different hues that they're utilizing within these patterns really just look so cool whenever you're designing with them. So I'm going to zoom out of this just so that you guys can get an idea of what it looks like at a broader spectrum and what it really looks like on that roll. So you can get some design ideas kind of flowing through looking at this. At this point, you know, we have pre-selected the colors that go into the pattern, and then you'll just select what finish you want, what heat transfer vinyl type or vinyl type you want to order this in. So for those of you that are new to our patterns, we have Express Print. That is our matte heat transfer vinyl. We are going to be using that today. We also have a glitter finish in heat transfer vinyl. We have sign vinyl, which we'll also be using, and then also sublimation transfer. So that's one thing I absolutely love about our custom patterns is that you can get it in sublimation. So for those of you that are recreating retail inspired looks with patterns and you're doing a lot of sublimation with that, the sheet is, I want to say like 18 by 24, something like that. And you can sublimate so many different items with just that one sheet. So keep that in mind. Sublimation's big. And being able to add that so simply without actually having a printer at home and just needing a heat press, it's really easy to get started. All right, so yeah, be sure to check those out. Four different finishes: matte, glitter, sign vinyl, and sublimation. All right, so this is the pattern that we're going to be working with today. I'm just going to hold that up. It's a 20-inch roll. You can get it anywhere. Oh, there's another piece of tape. You can get it anywhere from 1 yard to 10 yards. And then there is a masking that goes with it. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the patterns process, there is a masking process once you cut and weed that out. Right, so we're actually going to do a really cool tonal effect, and we're going to be heat printing a fanny pack with the heat transfer vinyl. So I already have that loaded up here, as you guys can see. I was testing how I was going to be able to load that on there to get my application on there accurately. And then I just wanted to show you one other color way with this same exact pattern. This is the one that I just did a static video on that's going to go up on YouTube next month. I love how this one looks. I just love the colors that are in it. And we created some really cool stuff with this. So I'm really excited for this video to go out so that you guys can see this. We did a bucket hat, which is a really popular accessory in retail. And then we did also a like an acid wash Gildan hoodie with this. So stay tuned for that. That'll go on the YouTube channel next month. But you guys will get a little bit of a sneak peek of working with these patterns today. All right, so I already have my sign vinyl one cut out. That way you guys don't have to sit through the cutting process. If you guys have not seen our patterns get cut out on a vinyl cutter yet, what those cut specs look like from Cricut to Silhouette to Graph Tech and Rollin'. We have all of those cutting specs online, so you know exactly what settings, what blade depth, what speed, etc., that your cutter needs to be set up for to cut these accurately. Now, I do want to show you the weeding process because it is really, really easy. But I feel like that is probably the most tedious part of working with patterns is just that weeding process. So I'm just weeding away the excess. We are doing a Starbucks cup wrap with this pattern, and it's for a brand. Okay, so that's one thing. Whenever you're thinking about different ways that you can utilize RealTree patterns, think about the customer types that you're serving. If it's not a specific market where you're like, oh, this is going to work specifically for this market, think about a specific customer, especially if you are doing brand names. So like this would be an example of how you could customize a cup for a local brand or store, whatever. Right. So once the excess is weeded away, we will just take our masking. This is the Aura tape. So this is the suggested masking that we recommend online whenever you're ordering sign vinyl patterns with us. And I'm just taking this and rolling it from inside out. And then I'm going to flip this over and squeegee. Right, so this is a squeegee. You can get this from right on Stahls.com. You guys don't have one. You can also use a credit card. ID, anything with a hard edge that'll allow you to get those air bubbles out and simply transfer this. All right, now I'm just going to remove that Aura tape backing. Aura-Jet, sorry, this is the patterns backing right here. All right, now it's transferred over. And to make sure that I don't mess up the adhesive of my sign vinyl, I'm going to put the Aura tape backing on there. Make sure that that is not sticking to anything. All right. So you can see all of that pattern and gradients in the design here. And if you guys didn't join my last broadcast, which would have been about 2 weeks ago now, we did a Starbucks wrap. And right now what I'm doing is just grabbing something to place down so that my cup isn't rolling on me for this process. Because this one, since it's a wrap, you want to be really careful about where your sign vinyl is going. Okay, so this template is available on KaylaMakes.com. It's exactly where I got it. And she has it as a PNG download. It's free. So that you can create wraps like this for these popular Starbucks cups. And it'll fit for any size cup that you are doing a wrap with. All right, so I just, same way that I applied the Aura tape is the same way I'm applying it to this cup, because I want to make sure that we are working from the inside and then going out to each edge. That just helps to get it nice and flat. And I'm just smoothing this out with my hands as I go. Now, this template is really cool because it also allows you to add a pattern to it. So if you guys didn't get to check out the design that we did a couple weeks ago, we did a cool leopard pattern and we did a heart pattern, and it's all following this exact template. And whenever I was doing that live, I was thinking to myself, oh, this would be really cool to be able to do with just one of our patterns and just have a solid pattern going across the entire cup. Right, so you can see how that's turning out so far. All right, my Aura tape is a little hard to work with just because it's hard to get it to round with the edges of this. So as I go, I'm just kind of like lifting and placing my wrap and removing that Aura tape a little bit just so that it's not causing me any issue for the curves of the cup. Also want to make sure this side is removed a little bit so that we're not overlapping there on the tape and our sign vinyl is getting a nice adhesion. All right, once that's on there, we can go ahead and remove the Aura tape. Oh, my middle of my O didn't stick, so I'll take that back and push that back down. And then once this is all complete, what we'll do is go back. Oh, that looks so cool already. I'm really excited for this one. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is go back and just squeegee this pattern down. Now, I don't work a ton with sign vinyl, so just keep that in mind. Be gentle with me. Don't come after me in the comments. Obviously, my my sign vinyl isn't perfectly centered on here. I don't do this a ton, but this just gives you an idea of some of the things that you can do with the pattern sign vinyl. And these Starbucks cups, like I mentioned in the last broadcast we did, where we added a pattern, or not pattern, but sign vinyl to these cups, really, really popular in the custom hard goods world. All right. So if you're looking for an easy add-on sell, that's, you don't need any additional equipment for, all you have to do is just place this on here. This is a really great way to do that, because this is something that can be just added on to something you've already printed with the same pattern. And that's the idea that I'm getting at here, because all these patterns are offered in so many different ways. That means you can use these patterns and decorate multiple things to package items together and build a higher profit opportunity. So really popular accessory to be able to offer to your customers. Little lid goes on here. Also the straw. So I really like how that turned out. And the RealTree brand is in the pattern as well. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's just kind of printed throughout. So that adds more value as well, just being able to have that high-end brand that's seen a lot in retail be incorporated into your designs and custom products the same way that your customers are seeing it in retail. These cups were sourced from Amazon. They came in a pack of 3 for $11.90 and $11.99. I'm seeing these sold anywhere from $15 to $18. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of how much profit opportunity you have in this once you consider, you know, your costs in material, your costs to put the sign vinyl on there. So just keep all that in mind. Cost to produce does come into play there. But yeah, I think it turned out really cool. I see a lot of people doing this with rhinestones, things like that. All of these are typically recommended to be hand washed. So keep that in mind. You wouldn't want to just have your customer throw this in the dishwasher. Realistically, I would like for this to have been a little bit longer so that this overlapped and didn't have that gap there. So trial run, probably would have changed the dimensions to overlap just a little bit more and give me more room to work with around the Starbucks logo. But you can learn from my mistakes for this one. All right, so next application, same pattern, but we are going to use heat transfer vinyl, and we're going to do 2 locations on that fanny pack because the fanny packs are a really popular accessory. Seeing this more and more sold in retail, sold at gyms with the gym's logo on it. A lot of people wear these to the gym. I'm seeing that a ton. Let me know if you guys are seeing this a lot. I don't know if it's like a demographic thing, geographic thing, I don't know. But I have been seeing this in the younger generation a little bit more, and definitely in my area, which is Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area. All right, so same pattern, and the fanny pack that I sourced, I'm really, really excited for this because this is from Sanmar. We were able to get this in a Nike design. So again, we're sticking with that same thing of using popular name brand logos in our accessories and then customizing those for our customers to build more value in the products that we're offering. So this fanny pack, they're calling it a hip pack. It's a little bit large, but I'm pretty sure it's being worn like this, right? So it's actually going across body, even though it's like a fanny pack. I see it worn a lot like this. So that helps me keep in mind where, like, what locations of this accessory should I be decorating. So of course we definitely want to go with that front pocket. And then I also want to do another added branding location to the strap as well, if they're going to be wearing that across body. So I wanted to use this pattern specifically for this because of the tonal look that they did with the Nike logo already. I didn't want to take away from that because that is what makes, that's what really builds the value in this piece. This could be sold by itself, right? So we need to add more value to this product by kind of mimicking the look that they've already created on here with the Nike logo. It's a glossy effect. It's tonal. It looks really cool. It looks very retail. So I think this pattern is just going to complement that very nicely. All right, so I'm going to bring you a little bit closer to the heat press here so that you guys can get a good look of the application. Using the A to Z heat press, I have a little accessory heat printing pillow loaded on there, and I'm just dropping this right on the edge. Right. If you're working with smaller fanny packs or hip packs, I recommend this 6x10 platen that is available on the A to Z, or any of those other smaller platens if you're working with any other Hottronics machines. This pillow is going to help me because it's going to let this zipper sink down in there and help me isolate my print area, keep that raised so that I can get a nice even application. And this pattern has just enough texture in it that even though we're doing essentially a black on black tonal effect, because of the different gradients and colors within this pattern, it's still going to pop off of there and give us a really cool tonal effect. All right, so let me find my cover sheet. All right, making sure that's nice and flat under there. I'm going to swing my heating element around and lock that down. So our heat transfer vinyl patterns, those apply as low as 300 degrees, which is really great for printing accessories like this. This is 100% polyester right here. So whenever we're thinking of what products we want to put on 100% polyester, we need to make sure that it's not going to melt or destroy the finish of the fabric that we're printing. Right, so let's see. It doesn't look like it got enough even pressure. Whenever I flattened this, I flattened it back as opposed to forward. So I'm going to flip that around. And lock that in place one more time. This isn't going to hurt it if you ever experience lifting of your heat transfer vinyl that's caused from uneven pressure. You immediately know that that adhesive isn't the problem. It was just the pressure issue. You can just lock that down and reheat apply. It's not going to damage the product at all. Right, so now we can go ahead and remove that carrier. And this looks so awesome on this. It's the perfect tonal effect. And I just think it pairs so nicely with that Nike logo. And as you can see, even though we do have a zipper here, it is not damaging that zipper at all. Right, so it's still in working use. So don't be afraid to get too close to things like that. If that were to ever be a concern, like maybe it's a plastic zipper, consider what heat printing accessories that you're using, because we do have flexible application pads, right? A flexible application pad is a cover sheet that protects plastic hardware on accessories like this from melting, right? So I really do love how that pattern turned out on the black. So I think that this RealTree pattern is going to be perfect for those tonal effects. So keep that in mind, because this type of print is really, really popular in retail. And fanny packs are popular in retail as well. All right, so let's take advantage of all the real estate we have on this. We're going to go ahead and print that strap as well. If it's being worn, then we want it to hit right about here. So I'm going to drop that strap right there. Keep my heat printing pillow there. And drop my second transfer as soon as I figure out where I put it. Here it is. All right, so heat transfer vinyl process for the patterns is going to be the same as what you saw for the sign vinyl. It is still a cut, weed, and mask process. Again, if you are not working with a vinyl cutter at this point and all you have is a heat press, that is okay. you are able to send us the artwork, select the pattern you want the artwork to be created in, and we'll send it to you already cut, already masked, and ready to heat apply. All right, really cool look there too. No damaging of the strap at all. No scorching. I always get worried about this type of polyester because it's a glossy type, and if it can look like burned at all or scorched, but this turned out really, really cool. And I love the way that it looks based off of how the light is hitting it. So this pattern is just really, really unique. It adds a lot of dimension, even though it's a flat product. And I think that's why it is so appealing to me. It just really catches my eye. I love the tonal effect. Thank you, Chris. Mary, no problem with copyright of the cup. I do not believe so. So I did a little bit of research. I had some other team members kind of do some research on the Starbucks stuff. Doesn't seem like there's any copyright issue because you're not printing this logo. This logo is already printed on here. You're purchasing the cup. You're making it specific to your customers. So no copyright issues that I have found. But if you do a little bit more research just to be safe, I highly recommend that. All right. But yeah, so this turned out really, really good. We got 2 print locations. Didn't use a lot of heat transfer vinyl for these applications, so we're still keeping cost to produce relatively low. Now let's look at the Nike Tech Hip Pack is what they call it, and pricing for that. So $24, and that is the wholesale price, right? Of course, it has that Nike logo, so this just kind of gives you an idea if you're using Nike products, what you are going to be able to yield profit for. All right, Alice says, I live in a small rural town. I don't think I've seen anyone wear one. Maybe I'll start the trend here. That's awesome. I hope you do. Thank you, Brenda. Yes, Lacey, this is a heat transfer vinyl that comes in rolls. So already printed out for you. We do have patterns where you can actually select the colors that go into them. RealTree, they do a really good job of, selecting popular colors for their patterns. So we don't select colorways or allow our customers to select colorways for the RealTree patterns for this wave one. But look how cool this one is that they did as well. This one, you can see better when it's held up though. Right. So stay tuned to see the products that we printed with this pattern on the Stahls TV YouTube channel next month. Hello, Betty from Texas. Lacey, is this something that you can buy blank vinyl? Yes, so you can get solid blank colors in our patterns as well. I think I'm answering that correctly. Okay. All right. Looks like we have all of the questions answered. All right. So let's do an overview. Chris Edwards question, what is this? This is heat transfer vinyl, pattern heat transfer vinyl by RealTree. To do a quick overview, you are able to get these products in sign vinyl, which allows you to custom cut different logos, text, names, sayings, and personalize popular drinkware with. So the pattern that you're seeing on this cup was done in the pattern RealTree product known as Wave in color Blackout. You can also get the same pattern in a heat transfer vinyl and print accessories. So it goes beyond just t-shirts, and that's really what I want to talk about today, going outside the box of just apparel and popular accessories that you can print with these products to really add more value to some of those popular accessories and brands. So 2 really great brands here that we're able to, as custom printers, be able to utilize in our offering. We have Nike, which we're able to source from Sanmar. Starbucks, of course, is a good one, but we were able to personalize that or customize that with the RealTree brand, which is also another really great and popular camo brand. So being able to utilize those and build more value in your offering can really go a long way. So consider that for some of your 2020 looks that you're offering your customers. Hello, Gustavo from New York City. But yeah, so that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to comment those into the chat section. I'll be sure to visit those later. And then we will also answer any questions that you guys have in the Heat Press for Profit Facebook group, or I'll be posting photos of these. So if you're not in there, be sure to get added to that group. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time.